Today we're gonna make an easy, spicy peach pork chop. The pork chops are first seasoned with a bit of spices and salt and pepper, and then seared in a skillet, and then topped with a really simple 3-ingredient sauce that then all bakes together in the oven and caramelizes, and it's just a little spicy, with a little sweetness from the peaches, and it's just a beautiful dish. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and click the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new and delicious recipe. Let's get into it. Just 2 little things that we need to do before we start cooking. They're not going to take very long, so I am going to start preheating my pan because I want it to be ripping hot. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on over kind of high, medium high, because I want to give myself an appropriate amount of time. So we're going to mix our little sauce first. And this is going to go on top of the peach. So in here I have roasted red chili paste, and then this is Worcestershire sauce, or however it's correctly pronounced. And I'm just going to give that a little stir before I get the real deal. And then we're going to use a bit of my peach preserves, which you can make those up there with that video. These are actually, I made these last year. Yeah, did you hear that seal? That's what's up. So I do keep them in the fridge just because my apartment gets kind of hot. So I'm going to go ahead and use about a half a cup here, which I'm going to measure over my thing so it doesn't go anywhere. Go ahead and just get all of that goodness out. This adds just almost like jam would to pork. It's just like a nice, beautiful, kind of peachy, summery vibe. Yeah. Stir that together. And that's our sauce. Now this is going to cook in the oven, and the flavors are going to meld, and it's going to be quite nice. A little heat, a little sweet. I like that saying. Anyway, a little sweet, a little heat. And you good. My pan is still good, so keep going. Now, I have 2 pork chops. You can double this sauce and make 4. You can also make the same amount of sauce with 4, but they'll be a little lighter on the sauce, and I love the sauce. So we're just going to do a little cracked black pepper, a little pinch of salt. These are thinner pork chops, so I want to be careful about how much I salt them. And then in this bowl, I have a little bit of cinnamon and ginger. So I'm going to give those a whisk with my favorite kitchen utensil, the baby whisk. And then I'm just going to kind of pinch a little bit of that on there. This adds just a really nice warmth that kind of plays with the spice and the sweetness. I'm going to keep 1 clean hand and 1 dirty hand so that I can kind of continue. Obviously anything you touch with your dirty hand needs to go in the dishwasher. All right, and we're ready to cook. So I've got these, I've got this. My pan is not quite ready, so we're gonna wait for that to be very hot. Almost just starting to smoke. We want to get a nice sear on the outside of our pork chops before we add the sauce, and then we're going to pop them in the oven. Now I like to do this, there we are. We are just smoking, so I'm going to go ahead and get my pork in my pan. Press that down a little bit, make sure all of the surface area is, max surface area in contact. Now this one is a little thinner than I would love for these pork chops, but it's okay. You can certainly skip this step and just pop them in the oven with the sauce over top, but I like that nice caramelized, meat flavor. It just adds so much more depth and just another layer of flavor. So it's worth it if you ask me. Go ahead and give it a flip. Now with a thicker pork chop or with one with a bone in, you can give it a nice hard sear, even longer, but you don't want to overcook your pork chops just because you seared them too hard in the pan. So, no amount of caramelization is worth that. Alright, now my oven has been preheated to 350 degrees because there's something already in it. Normally I like to pop these in like a really hot oven, like 400, 425, no higher than that. Just to cook them really fast and get that sauce all nice and thick. But whatever your oven temperature is at, as long as it's above 350, then you're fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pour this over the top. Not gonna care about it getting down in the pan, on the sides. I'm like super excited about all of those pan juices. All right, take this baby, pop it in the oven. It's not gonna bake very long, like 6 minutes to 8, and we're out. So it cooked about 8 minutes. I was waiting for the bigger one to be done, obviously. I use a cake tester to make sure it's hot, but you could also use an instant read thermometer to 145. And then, you know, obviously I have let it sit here for a second, and it's gonna continue to cook as long as it's in the pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them out. Oops. Nice, let's see. Okay, all right, so we can go ahead and spoon a bit of the sauce onto the pork. Now, this pork is also, it is beautiful when it's served with, you could serve it with a lightened coleslaw, a really bright salad. I mean, if you're going all in, mac and cheese would be phenomenal here, if I do say so myself. Or even just really simple kind of quinoa pilaf, or just any sort of, you know, grain would be really beautiful here. Without further ado, it's time to try. I'm stoked. It's also lunchtime, which is perfect timing, just, you know, for me personally. Get a little bit of that sauce. This is gonna be really warm. It just occurred to me. One of my happy dance. With that nice kind of like these spices from the pork, and then like sweetness from the peach preserves, and then you get that like kind of just a little bit of heat from the roasted red chili paste, and then the Worcestershire just kind of adds a bit of complexity. You don't taste it, you don't know it's there, but you just know that there's something really complex and like really just deep going on there. And that's her role here in this whole symphony.